a villager was preparing for his first winter in his new home. Not sure of how to prepare for that, what he did was he evaluated the situation. He reached out to his neighbors and talked with them about what they did, which amounted to lots of firewood. And so he decided that he was going to get lots of firewood as well. And as he began to think about winter, and he began to think about cold, and he began to think about, the potential for freezing and death, he thought, I've got to have much more wood. And so he began to collect wood at a much higher rate than his neighbors did. He ended up collecting twice the amount of firewood that his neighbors had collected. And he was relatively content, but he was still a little uneasy about the impending winter. As the temperatures began to drop, and the first really cold night hit, he began to stoke that fire. He was so nervous about freezing that he just kept wood going into that fire and kept it going and kept it going. He slept by the fire. And whenever the temperature seemed to drop, even the slightest bit, he was there. He woke up and he put more wood in the fire. And so the consequence was, halfway through winter, he went out to get some wood to stoke his fire, and he was down to his last cord of wood. Where all of his neighbors, who had been approaching things a little bit more balanced and moderately, still had plenty of wood to make it through the winter. He had allowed fear to dictate his decision. He allowed that to rule his decision. And so in making decisions, if we're feeling anxious, if we're feeling fearful, then it's important for us, it behooves us to pause and to think, okay, allow this anxiety to pass and allow me to make a more balanced decision. And if you're struggling with that, step away. Step away from making that decision. Use 4-7-8 breathing, for example, to help you to be balanced in your decision making. And that will improve your decision making considerably. And good luck.